Dark Knight Returns Part 2. We're going to kind of talk a bit about both of them, though, because obviously Part 2 is a sequel to Part 1. I know it's complicated. Everyone calm down, sit down, get out your pads and your pencils and start writing. 1, 2. Watch them in that order. You would totally ruin it if you watch Part 2 first, because it has the ending. And if I remember correctly from my English class in grade 6, you should have the beginning for the ending.
Obviously, you just learned that?
No, I just figured it out. I learned it in grade 6, but it's been sitting and stewing in me for a few decades.
So, to come back to the movie.
To the movie? What movie? Oh, that movie.
Batman.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
that.
I'm a big Batman fan, even though that he's now dead thanks to Superman's super kick. And so I'll just play with Deadpool because he's the bestest. Anyway.
Okay, well.
Hey.
Oh, are they only Superman and Batman on that movie?
Superman, yes. That's
Ah.
High five on that. Going back to the topic thing.
Superman. High five. Yeah. Boom.
Yes, Superman is in this movie. It's based on the classic Frank Miller. Oh, his foot's backwards. That must hurt. Classic Frank Miller comic book based on basically in the mid-'80s. There was a huge dip in comic book stuff. Everyone was taking big risks with comic books called like The Watchmen and The Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns is what made Batman dark. Up until the mid-'80s, everyone always associated the whole Adam West thing, biff, bam, pow, boom. And this changed it around. It brought Batman back to his roots of just being a dark vigilante. The story takes place 10 years after.
But I don't understand. Why wait 10 years after to come back?
I'll tell you why. Because the superheroes made a deal with the American government that they would basically go into retirement.
Okay.
Because there was backlash from basically people were looking at if the heroes were causing more damage than they were saving. Whether it be property but that's all backstory that really is just.
So he was causing too much damage, so he made a pact with the government to stay quiet for 10 years. Is that it?
No, all superheroes did, but it was permanent. What makes this significant is Batman is the only one to come out of hiding because of the circumstances surrounding Gotham City. There's a new gang of, I don't want to use the word villains because that makes it sound very comic booky, but it's a gang. It's punks. They are murdering, they're killing, they are kidnapping.
Oh, all around the city?
All around Gotham City. They're going to extremes that the villains of the classic comic book never went to before. Like
that point.
Yeah, just large amounts of death and destruction and violence. And Batman feels that it's time that he bring back justice to Gotham. But in almost a foreshadowing of his entire career as Batman, once he reappears, so he